Hockey runs deep in our college commits' lives this week. We chatted with 3 athletes and they shared with us how receiving a Division I commitment is like they're fulfilling a dream. Welcome back to Commits with Cruchon. Aberdeen wing 𝐂𝐫𝐮𝐬 is looking to fly with the Falcons in the fall with the Air Force Academy, and the legacy of playing college hockey runs deep in his family. Both his dad and uncle played D1. However, this Canadian has a couple more steps in his process in order to skate. He shares what those steps are and how he'll be heading to the Air Force Academy in the fall.
Yeah, they first reached out to me end of December. And I was actually still Canadian citizen at that time, so it was a bit of a process between when they first reached out and when I was able to commit, just kind of getting all that stuff out of the way. But yeah, it's definitely somewhere I've always been interested in going. Sets you up great after hockey as well, like the life path after, all the career options, it's fantastic.
Austin Bruin Jack Solomon was inspired by his older cousin to play hockey, and this Austin goaltender is fulfilling a dream of playing Division I college hockey this upcoming fall at UMass Lowell. He explains how the NAHL showcase played an important role in his recruitment process.
So I started talking to them a month or so before the showcase, and then they told me they were going to be at the showcase. I met Andy Brichetto there on the first day. He was a super nice guy. They're all super nice guys. And then after the showcase, I went to go visit like a couple weeks later, and I just felt it was super nice there. All the coaches are really nice. Their head coach Norm Basin's really nice. So it felt like I wanted to be there.
Johnstown Tomahawk Dallas Potter has grown up around the game. His dad, Chris Potter, is the head coach at Wesleyan University. Dallas is committed to Sacred Heart, and he says that growing up around the rink has inspired him to pursue his Division I goals.
You know, it's always been a goal of mine. I try not to, think about that stuff too much and just kind of, work as hard as I can. And, if it happens, it happens. And, I think obviously coming into NAHL as a 17-year-old was kind of, gave me a little bit of, the feeling that it could come true. And, I think once I started, school started reaching out is kind of when I realized, okay, I think this is going to be a part of my future.
Cade had a big decision to make heading into his age-out year, and he felt like playing in the North American Hockey League was going to set him up for success.
I knew as a 20-year-old aging out, I would have to make a big push to get a college commitment, and I just thought the NAHL would offer a lot better opportunity than where I was playing in Canada. So I knew I was going to come to the NAHL. I didn't know exactly what team I was going to, and Aberdeen reached out and talked to Langer, talked to Hirsch, the assistant coach here, and they sold it really good. Everything about the program's been great, so it worked out well.
Jack is ready and excited to hit campus. He shares more on what he saw from his visit and how UMass Lowell felt like the right spot.
I mean, the rink's top notch. It's a full bowl. It's super nice. It looks really nice in there. And then I actually got to stop by one of the guys on the team's dorms, and they're super nice. They're awesome. And the campus is just big enough where you don't see the same people every day, but small enough where you know everybody kind of thing.
Dallas is one of the younger players in the league. As an 07 forward, he has been turning heads of college scouts. He shares what his recruitment process has looked like from Sacred Heart and his excitement to join the program.
Well, so they reached out a while back, just kind of called, about when I was 15, just kind of saying how they liked my game and all that. And, as I continue to get older, I continue to watch, and, couple months into this season, they really started reaching out, getting a lot more serious. And shortly after, I made my decision.
Cade is one of the top scorers for the Aberdeen Wings, and he explains that life after hockey was top of mind for him. He shares why the Air Force Academy felt like it was the right program for him.
Probably what career opens up after hockey, because everyone knows it's going to end someday, and so going to a place like Air Force where you have so many options after hockey, that was probably the biggest selling point.
Jack is ready to hit the books at UMass Lowell. His father is an engineer, so math and science runs deep in his family. He shares that he is excited to be back in the classroom, and he went into detail on what he's looking forward to most in the fall.
I like that they're like a smart school. So like they have all like engineering, like sports medicine and all that stuff, and those are my interests and what I'm going to go into. And then second to that is the coaches and see how they run the program and all that stuff.
Being close to home for Dallas is a bonus. He explains why he's excited to skate for the Pioneers starting in the 2026-2027 season.
Now, obviously, they have a great facility. And one of the things for me was just how close it is to home. You know, I grew up in Madison, Connecticut, so it's about 40 minutes from my hometown. And that was like one of the biggest things for me, was just how close it was to home. You know, I really like to go home and play hockey close to my house.